What's up? It's your man Big B in the booth with Big B. It's going down. I am honored. Number one, we on camera. Number two,
we live, B.
We live,
B.
You can check out In the Booth anywhere podcast is streaming, and you're going to be able to see this on YouTube and everywhere else, man. She's in the building. I'm honored to have my friend, Miss Tiffany Tucker. Let me go ahead and get the accolades right now.
Stop that.
Deputy Athletic Director of UNCW. That's it, right?
Check. Good. Okay. That's it.
Top 100 women in sports, Sports Illustrated.
That is true.
UNC Chapel Hill. B-ball.
Facts. Hoop fi.
Petersburg. Virginia.
2 up, 2 down.
What's up? She's in the building, man. Thank you for being here.
Good to see you, B. Thank you so much for having me. Now, I've heard the rest of the podcast, so, I was like, am I going to get a turn?
Yeah. Come on, stop it. Let's go. We going in. I want to let everybody know where you're from. Let's go ahead and set the foundation.
So it's a crazy story about where I'm from. So originally, I was born in Richmond, Virginia, at the Medical College of Virginia, which is now MCV. Okay. However, my family is originally from Dinwiddie, Virginia, which is right outside of Petersburg, Virginia, where I was raised.
Okay.
So, but I also graduated high school in Chesterfield at Matoka High School, which is a neighboring city.
Okay.
So when I say where I'm from Petersburg. That's where I was raised. That's where I was reared. But my family's from Dinwiddie, and I've always got to pay homage to where my ancestors are from and my family was grown. But I also graduated from Matoka High School, which is one of the best high schools in Virginia. And I chose that option because when I was growing up playing basketball, there wasn't a lot of schools who was putting out athletes at a very high level like my high school was. We had Potsy Ferrier that went on to play at Florida State. We had Byron Threet that went on to play at Virginia. And lo and behold, 4 years later, when my family made that decision, I'm going to North Carolina. So I'm grateful for that choice and the option to be able to make the move that I needed to. Shouts out to Petersburg High School, an amazing school.
Right.
But I will say the resources that my high school had literally were able to propel me and prepare me for what was next.
Big. When did because I don't want to say because of your height you fell in love with sports.
Because of my height.
Right, because people like they force.
You gotta tell the people, B, I'm 6'5".
6'5". I never like discussing your height because we always be together. And so I was like, yeah, she tall. I mean, I think she get enough of that. So you're 6'5".
Yes, sir.
You're growing up and you're becoming taller and taller.
Yes.
You know, the girls are always taller in middle school and elementary.
Tall.
Right? But when you get to high school, you're like, wait a minute, she's still tall.
She's still
growing. So 6'5", when is that time that we was like, yo, I wanna be involved in sports. Like, I love it.
So my mother was an athlete. My mom was track and field. She played basketball as well. So there was a point in time which my grandmother, Phyllis Tucker, she developed diabetes.
Okay.
And she didn't know at the time that she was having like these fainting spells. So it was a time where I left my mom and went and stayed with my grandma until we figured out what was going on.
Okay.
And I lived in Dinwiddie. And at that time, I'm like 5th grade, 6th grade. And of course, still tall, lanky, awkward. However, my mom's basketball coach was still a teacher at the school.
Okay.
So even though we were still trying to figure this medical situation out with my grandmother, my mom's former coach is like, hold on. I know that's Joanne's daughter. That's Bradley's daughter.
Right.
There's some athleticism in there. So she got me involved in playing recreationally and getting on the school team there. And I, dibble and dab there. And then, of course, time moved on, moved with my dad, and had the opportunity to start going to camps and being exposed to AAU and what that circuit looked like. And, of course, I played when I was like 5, when I was 6 years old in recreation leagues with all the boys because there weren't all girl leagues then. Shouts out to Title IX, 50th year this year. But didn't have an opportunity to play with girls then. So it was like, I always played with the boys. And like I said, having this opportunity to go to camps, be exposed to camps, went to the University of Virginia camp, went to the University of North Carolina camp, went up to University of Maryland to camps. And then, of course, being from that DMV area, Boo Williams is a huge name, synonymous with a huge
Boo
name.
Williams tournament. Shouts out to Boo Williams.
Boo Williams shut the city down.
Yeah.
The whole 7 cities is shut down when Boo Williams has events. But knowing Boo Williams and understanding the level that the transition with women's basketball, even in our area, and just a random fact, when I started high school, we played women's basketball period just women's basketball during football season. Yeah. We didn't have a winter season.
Yeah.
So I literally started school playing basketball, and then when everybody else was playing the boys basketball, we were done.
Oh, wow.
Until there was some legislation, some back and forth with some young women who sued over the right to just not having access, not having the ability to be seen by college recruiters, and the opportunity to play and practice during the fall to get ready for the spring season. And that it shifted my sophomore year. So we ended up moving where I was able to play volleyball in the spring because my family, we stayed busy.
Right.
So I played volleyball, in the fall, transitioned into basketball, and then through shot put with track and field.
Oh, that's what it is.
Busy.
Yeah.
Busy. And then you had AAU, rec league, playing with your friends, summer, everything. So that's just kind of how that whole shift and the aha moment, literally, like the light bulb went off. I want to say my 10th grade year in high school. I'd had a coach for my first 2 years, and he transitioned out of our head coaching position. And Charles Payton, Bruce Ford was my first coach, and then Charles Payton ended up being my coach that finished out my last 2 years. And Coach Payton had played on the college level, and he also brought in assistant coaches that had played at a high level as well.
Wow. And
it was listening to the stories, understanding what they were asking of me from a strength and conditioning aspect. My strength and conditioning coach was our head football coach.
Oh, wow.
At my school.
Okay.
And literally getting up to go to school at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning so that I can lift weights before school, be able to get conditioning in before then, get a workout in. These are the men that were around me pouring this stuff into me. And I'm like, hold up, this is something different.
Right.
Like, you realize that there's something bigger going on. And then, of course, I've got great parents, God-fearing parents. We're going to church on Wednesday.
Go ahead. Go ahead on.
We go to Sunday school. We
Sunday
we
service
was raised in the church. So
yeah.
you have all these people, these great people pouring into you over and over again, and then you're starting to believe this stuff. Because you got to think, I'm still a teenager. I'm going through puberty, body parts, and just hormones, trying to figure out what's going on with my body, what's going on with my brain and my mind. And from an athletic standpoint, that's a whole different level of competition.
Right.
Like, these are my friends, but now I got to look across the floor from you and be like, oh, no, I'm going to beat you.
Right.
And I need you to be okay with that. But the aha moment came for me when I got my new coach, Charles Payton, and it literally, he put me on a schedule, continued to have conversations around what the next look like for me, understanding goal setting and being purposeful and intentional about how you use your time. I could have went and hung out with my friends and did all sorts of crazy things because I'm still connected to the inner city.
Right.
And I could have had those opportunities to do things that were not advantageous to me. However, they definitely checked me and was like, you could do those things.
Right.
You can do them all.
Right.
However, understanding the consequences that comes with that life.
That's a whole nother story.
It's a whole different story. So not only for it athletically, but I just think in life in general, I saw some things out there that I didn't want a part of my life. We talk about generational curses even as friends. We talk about that.
We do, yes.
You know, and those are things that some things that I saw, whether it was within my family or within my friends or within my city, that I no longer wanted to be a part of, and I wanted to bring some type of pride.
Right.
And I saw how, people were responding to whether it was writing about me in the paper or showing up on the news, and how my family, we could go to Food Lion or any grocery store at church. Yeah, exactly. Tiff.
Tiff right now.
Exactly. I saw how proud my family was becoming because of this gift that I had to just play basketball. So 10th grade, 11th grade, that transition year, and let me tell you something, life blew up and I was good.
You get the call. You get the call.
Yeah.
Hey, this is UNC Chapel Hill. I don't want to go in chronological order, but you get the call.
Yeah.
You going to Carolina.
Actually, we went on a official visit.
Okay.
My family, we packed up, went down there for a visit, and let me tell you, it's an experience like no other. I'll tell any student athlete, any young person that's coming up in this industry.
Okay.
Choose a school that you want to go to, not the one your parents want to go to. Because when it's time to get up and do them workouts, when it's time to go to class, your dad and your mom and your sister and your brother and your coach don't have to go to them classes. You do.
Right.
The accountability is on you.
Right.
So when you're in the recruiting process, it's so important that you stop all the noise. Everybody's going to show out for you. Trust, it's like dating.
Yeah.
It's literally like dating.
Right.
I could go out and have a date with Rob. Okay, Rob takes me out to the Port City Chop House, and he, treats me real good, pulling out my chair, opening the doors.
Right.
But he got bad table manners. Okay. Then you go out with Keith, and, Keith might drive a hoop in. Understand that everybody is dating. Whether it's one university or another, but you have to make the best decision for you. What do you want from your education? What do the goals look like 4 or 5 years down the line? It can't be you thinking of what's going on right now. Right now is just for the moment. It feel good. It look good. Right. He took me to the Chop House. They rolled out the red carpet for me. They knew my sister and my brother name. Everybody's gonna know that stuff.
Right.
Everybody's got great academic institutions, but can they give you what you need in order to be successful when you leave there? Bigg. So you got to ask the right questions.
Right.
So North Carolina did that for me.
Okay.
They answered all of the questions that I needed. I still have a family. I still have a unit where I'm tied to the university.
Right.
Even 15, 20 years later, I'm still tied to my undergraduate institution. And that's what I wanted.
Now, this is not no play situation. This is Carolina.
It's big time.
It's Tar Heels.
It's a machine.
Basketball. Women's basketball is a situation.
It's a situation.
You're on Tobacco Road.
Yes. Great responsibility.
Did that hit you going in, or when you got there and that thing said, Tiffany Tucker, and you was like, huh?
What's crazy is when it hit me was Greg Law was our director of operations. And I remember it like it was yesterday when we walked into the locker room and he had put our practice jerseys out and they had our name on the back of them.
On the practice jersey?
On the practice jersey. On the practice
jersey. No penny, the little red thing.
You said that? Dang, B, you taking it back.
The penny, the little yellow and red.
B, when we walked in the locker room and we had practice jerseys with our name on them. We had the undershirt. We had the Carolina blue spandex. We had the practice shorts. We had socks. We had sports bras. We had 5 pairs of shoes. Whew. We had coats and jackets and pants. And
I'm at Carolina.
I'm here.
It's going down.
I'm here.
It's time to work.
I am one of those people, I live in the moment. I'm very kinesthetic. And I'm like, I'm touching this stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, I'm here. Like, I'm calling my parents like, hey, I made it. Like, and then you realize, like, it's not even about the name on the back of the jersey. It's that one on the front. It's understand that tradition and that legacy. and what the sacrifice was in order for you to even be here this day.
Right.
You know, you think about the Charlie Scotts. Like, we talk about that even in undergrad. The sacrifices that people like Sylvia Hatchell, my coach, and Dean Smith, the men's coach, had to make in order to recruit athletes of color. We're not talking about 60 years ago. We're not talking about 70 years ago. That's a little closer than we really think about it. And I'm grateful for the sacrifice. I'm grateful for, you know, the ridicule that those coaches had to go through in order to bring people that look like me to an institution that, you know, years ago that wouldn't have been the case.
Yeah.
You know, and granted, let me tell you something. I graduated from the best historically Black college and university. I know you went to Norfolk State, Brandon.
I don't have to fight with you. I know what you're getting ready to say. Go ahead, man.
However, I will say, I graduated I got my master's degree from the best historically Black college and university in the absolute nation, Hampton University.
Can y'all
Go
mute
Pirates.
her mic, please? Mute her mic.
Turn me up.
So you have your career, your career at UNC Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
And you say, okay, I'm going to get my master's. Go to Hampton.
Not directly after.
Okay.
So the fast forward is graduated from Carolina, started working in the private sector, started coaching AAU boys basketball,
Okay.
and got the bug. And I remember calling my coach. I called Coach Hatchell, and I'm like, Coach, I think I really want to coach.
Okay.
So, you know, Coach Old School, she was like, Big T.
Okay.
My team is gonna die. Like, Big T, because she's at the Southern drawl, and I love it. She was like, Big T, you got to go out there and you got to earn it, and you got to put in some work. And I'm like, okay. So I started applying, got an opportunity to move to Meadville, Pennsylvania. I'll tell you exactly where it is.
Okay.
Pittsburgh. Keep going northwest.
Okay.
Just before you drive into the Erie River, back up.
All right. back up a little bit. Okay.
And Meadville, Pennsylvania at Allegheny College is a Division III institution. Let me tell you something. Talk about high academics. Like, on our team, we had some of the most amazing minds. Like, these girls had scored ridiculously on SATs, ACT. Like,
wow. Just
smart for no reason. Just crazy smart, but also athletically gifted. So went there, transitioned from there, went to Radford Division I in Virginia, then left there, went to Francis Marion Division II school.
Francis Marion, what's up? B Lord.
Oh, yeah, that is B-Lord area. Yeah, B-Lord area. Oh, man. Let me tell you. God almighty. Yeah, so went to Francis Marion in Florence, South Carolina, then had an opportunity to go to Orangeburg, to Claflin University.
Through the gate.
Hold on. And that's your boy DJ Frosty.
That's Frosty?
Frosty's mom worked at Claflin.
Oh,
yeah, she worked. She ran all of the grant-funded programs.
I did not know that.
Yes, indeed. Miss Gwen.
Okay.
And she is Gwen Phillips. She's an awesome woman. But yeah, so that's how I know him and the connection there. But left Claflin, went to Elizabeth City State University. Then left Elizabeth City State, went to Hampton. And that's when I went back and got my master's degree.
Okay.
Because at that point, I realized I wanted to transition into administration. All of those other stops, I was coaching primarily. When I had an opportunity at Claflin to work with the SIAC, shout out to Ruben, who was at the SIAC at the time as one of the assistant commissioners. He brought me in to, just rear me and get me that experience with working and speaking in front of presidents, working and speaking in front of my peers. And I'm so grateful for that because now, living a life as a public speaker.
Right. Yeah.
and doing a lot of this. it gave me the confidence to be able to do it. It gave me more depth about my own industry. And then two, it helped me kind of shape what the next looked like. And when I took the job at Elizabeth City, it was one, to be the associate head coach for women's basketball, but also Lynn Dawson at the time was the AD, and he gave me an opportunity to do some other additional administrative roles.
Okay.
So during that time, I was like, you know what, my next step is I'm just going to leave this coaching thing alone and go all the way full, both feet in to administration. So when I took the job at Hampton, I knew they had a sports administration program. So I was working full time and going to school full time.
That's big.
Yeah, you had to get it done.
You got, but that's
gotta
what we
work,
do.
B.
We got to work. We got to get
What?
if we
Hold
we
on.
want.
If better is possible.
Good is not enough. We got to get it.
If better is possible. But, you know, I just think about I had an opportunity at that, you know, didn't have any children. I wasn't tied down in a marriage or had these other things going on.
Right.
And I knew if I wanted to make this transition, it was now.
Got you.
You know, I was getting a little bit more seasoned in age.
Right.
So I needed to make some grown woman decisions.
Right.
So I knew, and just talking to my peers and my mentors and people that I looked up to, they were like, Tiff, you got some great stuff on your resume, but you got to get that master's degree in order to transition. So I made the sacrifice. Graduated in a year.
You weren't playing.
Was not playing.
UNC Chapel Hill basketball is way different than Hampton University basketball. So rock with me now. Were you able to take things that you saw and experience as a player and bring it to Hampton, say, look, this is what we're kind of doing is different.
Yeah.
If we do it this way, we look and feel like, because you already are, I think at that time was Division I. Because in my mind, I'm thinking,
you thinking
when I was in school, Hampton was in the CIAA. But you bring this, hey, this is
shout
what
out to the CI.
It's not CIAA. But you bring this, I guess, this different energy to Hampton.
Yeah.
Hey, this is what it should look like when you come to a game. Was that inside of your philosophy, what we're gonna do differently?
Yeah, it's in your DNA. It's always I live by the 3 B's: benchmarking, best practice, best in class.
Oh, okay.
If you've had all of these experiences, that's part of benchmarking. All of your experiences that you've had, whether it was at North Carolina, whether it was at Division III Allegheny, whether it was at D2 Francis Marion, whether it was at Claflin or South Carolina State, all of these are experiences that you have and you take with you along the way.
Okay.
So you get to a Hampton and you're working in administration. Of course, you want to be able to pour or add value to where you are. And these are some of the things that I try to help my coaches understand and the staff understand. We may not be a North Carolina or a Duke or NC State, but there are little things that we can do to give our student athletes that experience. And it's simple as at the beginning of the year when I talked about my experience, I literally can close my eyes and feel the way I felt when I walked in that locker room. The same thing. We buy the same sorts of things for our student athletes at UNCW, at Hampton. It's all in presentation. Lay it out. Make them make that student feel like I walked into something real special.
Yeah.
You know, traveling on the road, making sure that you're staying at hotels that have our best interest at heart.
Right.
We're not staying at hotels that doors open from the outside.
Right.
And you just out in the elements.
We can't stay the Carolinian Inn.
Absolutely.
My bad. I like to. I can clown. They're not a sponsor. It won't be probably after this. We're good.
However, sponsorships are definitely
important.
Sponsorships are definitely important. Making sure that we're doing all of the little things to provide the overall experience for our student athletes at a very high level.
I got you.
And then to listening to what they need. Those experiences that I had as a player, Yeah, definitely. When I was a coach, man, I hand painted my locker room. When I was at Claflin, my dad helped me do some things in my locker room to literally take it up to another notch.
Yeah.
You know, reaching out to whether it was to former athletes or alumni and donors to help do little things and add extra value.
That's cool.
To you know, I remember when I was a coach, I took my my team. I don't know if you remember that TV show, The Neelys. It was a black couple.
I remember that.
Cooked.
Yeah.
I took them. We were down in Memphis for New Year's Eve, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is what the Neelys are. Man, laid it out for them.
Man.
But that was due to monies that was provided from a donor that said, you know what, I know you want to provide this opportunity. Go ahead and do this for them.
Right.
But you got to be creative when you don't have the big school resources. You just got to be a little bit more creative.
Got you. That's huge. And then 28403. You land at 28403. UNCW. UNCW, man. You come to UNCW
Wings up.
as
shout out to Sandra McClammy though.
Hey,
like
midday. and you come and it's a different world from Hampton.
Yes.
Way different world than Hampton, way different world than UNC Chapel Hill. Has its own culture.
Yeah.
You come in as, let me get this correct, assistant athletic director.
Senior associate.
Started
as senior associate and senior woman administrator.
And now you're
I'm the deputy director of athletics and senior woman administrator.
I love that. Wait a minute, you were supposed to correct me when I first did that now.
Let me tell you,
you went through the whole thing.
Look, I'm gonna call you Brandon.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about me. It's not about the titles.
Okay.
Just call me Tiffany.
All right. So check it out.
Just call me Tiffany. It's not about the titles, because understand, leadership has nothing to do with titles.
Okay.
And given what,
drop the gem. Go ahead, drop the gem. This is a gem drop. Go ahead.
Stop it. Leadership has nothing to do with titles. You can have the biggest title in the world, but you're soulless. You can't pour into people. You can't lift people up. You can't motivate anybody, much less yourself. So when people have all these fancy titles and, oh, you need to call me so-and-so and you need to call me this. Actually, what does that have to do with anything? If you're given of yourself and you are willing to sacrifice and lessen yourself so that others can see the God in you, the higher being in you,
right?
Then that's what true leadership, that's what true mentorship, that's what true giving back is about.
Oh man, oof! I'm gonna put a pause on that because I'm coming back to that. I want to talk about that. You are the deputy director of athletics at UNCW. To me, you are the general major. Like you right under the general.
Yeah, work lock on with my guy Jimmy Bass.
Shouts out to what up, what's up, Jimmy? Shouts to Jimmy.
I know him and Sarah gonna listen to this.
Big Jimmy, what's good?
Let me tell you something. The Bass family is absolutely amazing, and they have made the experience of living and being a part of the community here in Wilmington, I mean, second to none. Cool. You know how I talk, we are our tribe. We City tribe.
Yeah.
They are a part of my tribe.
Cool.
Professionally and personally. They ask about, how are you doing? How, is there anything that we can do to help support you and make you better?
Right.
And when you have people around you like that, you can't help but to be great.
Right.
Because there's no excuse, because you have these resources who's willing to pour into you to make you better. So love the Basses.
First thing, you're in Wilmington. Is there something you go, maybe we should try this in Wilmington? Did you have any of those concepts that you bought from Chapel Hill, from your experience through Hampton? Then boom, I'm here at UNCW. Let's try this. Let's try this concept, or let's try this procedure.
So many.
Just give me one.
So many. When you implement change,
because y'all have so much from academics. Give me that, because I know y'all did. I know you get the athletes together and they have speakers and all this other stuff.
Yeah. So it was crazy. That's one of them I was going to go to. So last year, during the pandemic, typically we would for National Girls, Women in Sports Day, we would have the students go out and whether it's host a little clinic at a school or do something on campus to commemorate National Girls, Women in Sports Day. However, during the pandemic, we couldn't.
Right.
Our students during this time, our students were still at home.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't even playing games at that time.
Right.
So what I did is I called some friends and I said, "This is my idea. I want to do a leadership summit for my student athletes, but not just my student athletes across the country. I want to air it on YouTube. I want to send it out to as many people as we can." And I was able to get Patty Phillips, who is the CEO of Women Leaders in College Sport. She literally is the marching force in an organization that helps women women who are in athletic administration. And there are some coaches who are a part of Women Leaders as well.
Got you.
And LaShawn G, who is a professional speaker and also life coach.
Okay.
She came and did a 15-minute keynote talking about the recipe for a disciplined woman.
Oh, wow.
And then I called my best friend, who at that time was the director of athletics at Alabama State. Now she's the chief development officer at USA Basketball.
Oh, wow.
Called Tammy Tranter, who was at that time the chief development officer for USA Hockey. Then Molly Sullivan, who at that time was a sideline reporter with the Las Vegas Raiders. And Dawn Ellerby, who is currently the assistant AD for marketing in California. I'm going to screw the name of the school up. But I called all of them and I was like, this is what I want to do. And then I called on some of my student athletes and I told them what I wanted to do. And I was like, this is how I want you guys to be a part of it. And they were all gung-ho. They were all in.
That's what's up.
And we filmed it. We recorded it because I hate technical difficulties.
Right.
When it comes to making sure things go off without a hitch, I am one of them, and very meticulously. So we pre-recorded everything, but then we filmed the feed live.
Okay.
For everybody around the world to listen and see it and hear it. And it was one of those things where we didn't have all the flashy, lights and flashing in the background. We didn't do all that. We just had a real raw conversation about, just being unapologetically a woman. And what does that mean? Because, thinking during the pandemic, a lot of us were second guessing decisions and next steps and trying to create, shift our purpose. And everybody, at this point, we just wanted to get back to the foundation of who we are. So I literally called on all my friends who were former athletes that had sat in the seat that my student athletes sit in and have, gone on to do some amazing things. But this is awesome. Like Dawn Ellerby, like was the first woman to participate in the Olympics in the hammer throw.
Wow.
Like breaking barriers.
Yeah.
Like she gave of her time.
Right.
To speak to our students about her experience.
That's amazing.
Man, grateful. But
that's like only one thing of many things that you've done.
Yeah.
At UNCW, which we're glad to have you here.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to be here.
It's amazing to see you in that position.
Thank you.
Because I walked into the game one evening, walked into the basketball game. Brett Blizzard's there. I know Brett. What's up, man? What's up? But everybody
Hall of Fame.
Everybody, Tiffany, do you need this? Tiffany, do you need this? I mean, do you need? And I was like, whoa, she really rocking out here, man. And that was just, you were at leisure at that moment, I think, but you were still working. To some degree.
Oh, you know what? And you're not the first person to say that this week, actually. A friend of mine that came to a game, she was like, it was just crazy how many people you knew and knew you and was just like so happy to see you. And I'm a very relational leader. People who I work with or work for me or with me, and whether I was reporting up or reporting down, I want to make sure I have some type of relationship with people. And it doesn't cost you anything to say hello. Right. Because you never know what people are going through, what happened before they came to the game, or what may happen when they leave the game, or and we're providing these experiences. Right. But it doesn't cost you anything to say hello and listen to the person. If you say how you doing, take a moment and listen to what they're saying to you, because sometimes people are crying out for help and you miss it Talking about, hey, how you doing? And keep it moving.
You're like, I'm good. I'm good. Trying to pay this light bill.
Exactly. Keep the lights on.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, okay.
But just take time to get to know people. And then when you have those moments where you can slow down and say, hey, Brandon, I appreciate you guys coming to the game. Is there anything that you see around here that we could do better or create a better experience for you? Yeah. And you may say, no, I think everything's great, but you're going to remember me having a conversation with you. She took the time to ask me, how could I make this place better? And you're going to tell someone else that, and that person's going to tell someone else that. So it's not about me wanting to have everybody talk about me, but I've realized the power of having relationships and having very intimate relationships with people. Right. So when you do come to the game, it's not just, hey, how y'all doing? It's, hey, Brandon, how are you guys doing? Is I know you typically sit over here, whatever, just making sure that you can cater to people because that's the business we're in. We have customers.
Right. I was excited about my seat. I was like, hey, y'all up there. Yes, I'm sitting down here. But it was cool. I enjoyed it.
No, I'm glad you did.
I want to ask you a couple more questions, and then, we're going to do it because I want to respect your time and also some fun things. There's a kid sitting at home feeling that the coach at their school is supposed to help them get a scholarship. Do you have any input on that?
Yes,
because
I do.
It's kid.
I got input on that.
Kid, and I want kids to hear this. And I want to say kids, young adults. This their senior year, their junior year. Man, coach gonna help me out, man. I'm gonna be straight. Cause I'm good here. Really? But they gonna give me a scholarship to school. And I'm like, no, you got it. Please, I don't want to say it. I want to say what I feel, but I want you to say it.
No. And B, I really hope you are sharing this message. It is not your coach's responsibility to secure you a scholarship to any university in the country. It is not their responsibility. The onus is on you, sir or ma'am. It's on you. So if you're not producing in the classroom, that's the first step.
Thank you. Student athlete. Okay.
Heavy on the student.
Yes.
Student athlete. If your grades are subpar, you're not going to class, you're missing school when you shouldn't be missing school, you're not focused, everything has an excuse. And we know what the excuses are. Yeah. Tools of the weak and incompetent. Come on now. So
build bridges to nowhere.
Bridges to absolutely nowhere. So if everything is someone else's fault.
Yes.
I didn't get a scholarship because my coach didn't help me. No, it's your fault. You need to check yourself. But at this point, like I work with 18 to 23-year-olds.
Yes.
So we're talking about the minds of 15 to 17, 18-year-olds. The video game world, the Instagram world. I call it the Hot Pocket microwave world.
Yes.
Everybody wants it fast.
Right.
And they don't want it to take too long either.
Right.
They want it real fast. And when I get it, I need it to go real fast. So it's not your coach's responsibility. Okay. And I truly hope that the parents can understand that too. Because your coach is there to assist. They assist you with these things. If you need film, if you need a highlight tape, to do a workout, your coach can help you with those things.
Got you.
If you're having an educated conversation with the coach and say, hey, I'm gonna take Ike for instance. If he is say a basketball player and he's you've done the training, he's on the AAU circuit, and he may not be getting the looks that he want to get. Hey, coach, is it possible you and I can have a conversation? This is parent or a student. Can we have a conversation about what can we do to help him get some looks, whether it's Division I, Division II, Division III? Because a lot of parents want to think Carolina is going to call, at the ninth hour. That's not going to happen. No. And especially with this transfer portal.
Yeah.
you got to set yourself up for success. So if you realize 8th, 9th, 10th grade that you're not even receiving any letters of interest or any types of phone calls, or your coach is not receiving those phone calls, you may want to shift some gears, whether it's change your AAU program, figure that out. Maybe you need to work on some different skills. You know, with guys, you hit a growth spurt at a later age. So you may start off a point guard and mess around and end up a power forward or a center by your senior year, which changes your skill set. Right. So there's a lot of things going on that parents really need to sit down and have an honest conversation. And this is very transparent. Come on, be honest.
Drop a gem. That's a gem drop. Go ahead.
Parents, get in the kids' life. Like, show up at the school. What does the grades look like? Have a conversation with the guidance counselor. If your kid is athletically gifted, there's no way that the guidance counselor doesn't know your first, your last name, and your cell phone number. Gotcha. Because when it's time to plan for classes for the next year or the next semester, or whatever the system is, you should be a part of that process. Definitely. Because you don't want to get to the end and they missed a class. Right. And now they have this big opportunity to go to a North Carolina, to go to a NC State or a Duke. And you can't get in because you've not taken the appropriate classes.
Talk to me now.
So, if we're going to put any level of accountability on anybody outside of the student athlete, it's the parents. It's the guardians. And I know it's hard. I'm so blessed. I'm so grateful to have parents who were present. I'm so grateful to have a coach who was aware. But like I said, we had to make a strategic decision early to make sure that we were aligned, because my parents didn't play college athletics. So we had to strategically align with people who knew what the course looked like. So, like I said, the parents and the student, you've got to be involved in your own process. You can't leave your destiny up to somebody else. Right.
Thank you so much. I needed that jewel drop today. I needed to drop. I had some pause. I want to go back to it because you were giving me some great motivational situations when you dropped the first jewel. It's because I know you do some talking, some speaking. Tell us about that. And then I'm going to get out the way.
No, man. Tell us about it. I've had an amazing time. And if I forget, because I can talk, if I forget, thank you. Thank you for being my friend.
Definitely.
Thank you for motivating me. Thank you for lifting me up. Thank you for putting me in places that I may not have been invited to otherwise. And like I said, I really appreciate you. Definitely. And I appreciate what you do for this city. I'm going to always call you the mayor of Wilmington.
I appreciate that.
Okay, wherever I'm at. That's my boy Brandon. And my brother's name is Brandon, shout out. But I appreciate you as a pillar of this community and people, and as a person who fights for equal rights and equitable rights for people who look like us.
Yes.
I appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
But about this speaking, let me tell you something, B. When I went to college, I literally wanted to write books.
Okay.
And I was fascinated by people like Dr. Miles Monroe. And, I told you we grew up in the church. So Prophetess Juanita Bynum and T.D. Jakes, they were always on the TV.
Right.
Yeah. But even just my childhood, like pastors and teachers were always great orators.
Okay.
My stepmother is a minister, and she's an amazing orator. Okay. And just speaks so eloquently and can captivate an audience. Okay. And I was like, oh my God, I want to do that. I want to be able to do that with people. And then understanding, bringing the whole athletics world together, and success and excellence and motivation and inspiration, and being able to merge all these things together. And one of the things we didn't talk about today, but it's part of my life, and I'm very transparent about my journey. Yeah. When I was at Carolina, I tore my ACL, and it's all good. And just understanding adversity and how to get through the mucky, ugly stuff. Yeah. So that you can at least see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like understanding what depression looks like, and not falling into the pit We just had a celebrity lose her son to suicide, but yesterday, and just understanding what those signs and symptoms look like. And I wanted to be a voice. I wanted to be able to share these experiences with other women, men, children, boys and girls to help them along the way. I'm truly a servant leader. Like I gave my life over a long time I told God, look, whatever you want me to do, just let me know what it is so I can be prepared for it.
Man.
And I learned a long time ago about Toastmasters and learning how to speak and being able to tell a story and bringing audience in. But I'm very organic. Like even with this, like we could have just did it and recorded ourselves and be done.
Like, B, I want to do it in person. We got
to do this. I don't want to do Zoom. I want to do it. I wanted to do it organically because I know the power of you. And I understand the power of me. And I know that I'm going to feed off your energy, and this is going to go back and forth 10 times better than if we were sitting in a box on Zoom.
Right.
So, but no, like I said, I love speaking to people. I love talking in front of audiences.
So that means we can book you.
We can book it.
How do we book Tiffany Tucker?
So, I do have my full-time work job, my career, and I love UNCW. Shout out to my Seahawks, all of my student athletes.
Big facts.
All of my coaches, all of my staff. Let me tell you something, love them. However, if anybody wants to book me for a speaking engagement, just email me at Tiffany Transforms with a S, LLC @gmail.com. You can definitely hit me there. You can get me on Instagram. So my personal Instagram is Curly Girl Tall World.
Long hair, don't care.
So Curly Girl Tall World or Tiffany Transforms LLC on Instagram. Definitely, like I said, I love to speak. I love to share my story. I love to help people transform into what they really want to be or want to do, or help shift your mindset. Because it's tough and it's hard to do it even with a healthy mind.
Right. And
understanding goal setting and what does that mean, and holding yourself up to a level of accountability too. If you don't do what you said you were going to do, this is the top of the year. Everybody trying to lose weight.
Yeah.
I know the pandemic,
you know what I'm saying?
The pandemic did a little something, So everybody want to lose 10, 15 pounds, but let's start with 2 pounds.
Okay.
And what does that mean, and what does that look like? And the same thing for your life. If you're not in a career or a job or a space that you want to be in, how do you shift to, entrepreneurship? If that's what you want to do, understanding what creating a LLC looks like, and understanding accounting and taxes and all of those things that go with that, so that you can make the shift and be okay with where you're headed to and where you're going.
Yeah.
But there's some self-work that has to happen before you do that, in order to kind of honestly just be confident.
I wanted you to drop that. That's why I let me pause that, because I know you do this.
I love it. I love this work.
And I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm super proud of you. Thank you for letting me be your friend. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you for being a friend.
Yeah, because we have a good time.
Shout out
and we often talk about our tribe. Because there's a lot of things that we talk about, like off the record. We're like, look, man, what y'all do today? How was your Monday? And we all get together and be like, man, let me tell you something. And it's just a sounding board for us. To get together. And
you
that's important.
Have to have, and that's one of the pieces that I talk about, understanding your tribe and making sure that the people around you are pouring into you.
Right.
We talk, I just did the article with Sports Illustrated. I talked about you can't pour from an empty cup.
Ooh.
And if we are going to use this cup, for instance, and this is you.
Right.
And understand that I'm never supposed to pour from here. I pour from the overflow. So all of the stuff that falls off over to the side because it's too full.
Yeah.
Because I'm so full.
Right.
Because I've done the work for myself. Because I made the sacrifices. Because I said no to some things that I just couldn't do, or I didn't want to do. Because I'm so full, I give from the overflow, so that I'm never lacking. And understanding that I have a very close relationship with God. I have my own personal relationship with God. And I know that he requires me, and he told me that he's going to give me more than enough.
Ooh.
So if he told me he was going to give me more than enough, I don't have to give you what's in the cup.
Come on, Pastor. Come on, Pastor Tucker. Come on, Pastor Tucker. Talk to me now.
See, y'all friends are hype you up. Let me tell you, better get y'all better get you some good friends now.
When the article came out, and it ain't come out yet, right? It didn't come out.
So it released digital. Yeah,
it released digital.
Yeah,
but when you told us, "Hey, I'm top 100 women in sports on Sports Illustrated," I told the people, I said, "Hey, this is my friend."
You did.
She owns Sports Illustrated. You know, I boost you up.
Friends will get you a whole different title.
Hey, it's in the booth with Big B. Look, now I got to give you these. Go ahead. Some this or that's.
All right.
Heavy now. It's going to be heavy.
It's about music, because
it might be music. Okay, here we go. Some music, some not.
All right.
All right. Here you go.
All right.
Jay-Z or Nas. I'm just saying.
You came Jay-Z early.
Yeah, I got the punch. I got to give it to you because, you know.
Oh, B, I'm a diehard fan of lyricism. And there's no way you're making me choose Jay-Z or Nas, because I choose them for different reasons.
Okay.
Like, those men are great.
Okay.
B,
I go with the tie on that. We'll go with the tie on that. I'll let you can have a tie. You can say both.
Cause you knew it was a tie when you asked it. You cannot, and the fact that I'm a 80s baby. I grew up when you know.
Yeah. Crack era.
Yeah.
We can say it.
So I get it.
Yeah.
And they're totally different reasons. And I'm just so happy that Jay-Z is being transparent about his business journey, so that we can help young kids see
and follow that path.
I use my voice to create these opportunities for everybody. Us. Yeah, man, got him. All right. Whew. Ty.
And I might know your answer to this.
All right.
Your favorite North Carolina MCs.
Come on now.
I already know. I think I might know. Go ahead and drop it.
Come on now. You know Fontaine Rhapsody. You
already know. I knew. I kind of knew it.
Let me tell you something. Fontaine Coleman, Rhapsody.
Okay.
There's no way that you can't talk about and Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
These are people that I've seen and I've been around, and they are just amazing at what they do on the microphone and in the community too. But then I can't get out of North Carolina without talking about my guy Knife Wonder.
Oh,
guy Knife.
What's up, Knife?
Let me tell you something. Doing big things, educating on the highest level, teaching at Duke, man. Like, when you get the power to influence people who don't look like us about our culture and about our world, just, man.
Harvard certified.
Harvard stamped.
Harvard stamped him. Then he went and let's go. But he was teaching that dude that before then.
Yeah,
but they stamped him though.
But like I said, it's just, just having those opportunities, man. And
heavy.
Like I said, it's bigger than us.
Way big.
Because you asked me about when the aha moment goes off and you realize that this thing is bigger than yourself. You got to think, a guy like, we're talking about Jay-Z, Knife Wonder, having the opportunity to work for this machine called Sean Carter. Like, it's a machine.
Heavy.
And having the influence over the culture and over the state. The state of North Carolina. You don't come out of North Carolina not knowing who Knife Wonder,
you gotta know,
and Fontaine and Rhapsody. You don't get out of there. And there's so many others.
Yeah, it is.
Big Daddy Kane. Like,
what's up, Kane?
Petey, even Petey Poplo.
What's up, Uncle Petey? That thing there is something else, man. No. Here's some fun. Waffle House or IHOP?
Waffle House.
Okay.
I even got a T-shirt that said clean waffle.
That's a whole nother story. I'm not going to tell the story.
You about to tell the story?
No, I'm not going to tell it. No. All right, so Waffle House. I know that you partake in grits.
Yes.
And this is the final question. This is a serious question we have.
Okay.
What do you put on your grits?
Not sugar.
Hey, thank you. That's it.
I do not put sugar. Heavy on the butter, heavy on the cheese, and salt.
And no sugar.
No sugar. I'm not one of the sugar grits.
This is why I love you.
But see, my college roommate, Tangi Atkinson.
Where's she from?
Bishopville, South Carolina.
What?
She used sugar on her grits, and she gonna kill me for telling everybody this. But let me tell you,
I remember Bishop. They green. Is they colors green?
Bishopville.
I remember Bishopville.
Coach Fortune was there. I think I want to say they were green.
It might be red. I remember Bishopville because I would coach volleyball. I'll even tell you this. I coached volleyball at Baptist Hill High School.
Look at you.
In South Carolina. In Ravenel, South Carolina.
Oh, wow.
And I remember us having to go to Bishopville because that was a trip.
Yeah.
From
it's a little
Charleston side
because you had to come all the way
Bishopville.
up 95 and then get off just before you get to Florence.
Yep. Because we had to go Lake City.
Lake City.
Like that. Yeah.
Lake City with no lake. There's not a lake in Lake
At
City.
At all. Once again, give us how we can follow you.
Man. So, my personal page, Curly Girl Tall World on Instagram. Yeah. Business, anything, speaking, engagement-wise, Tiffany Transforms LLC, or just email me, tiffanytransformsllc@gmail.com.
Or y'all can show up to any
UNCW event.
Sporting event.
I'm going to be there.
She's there.
Email me, tuckert@uncw.edu. If you need, like I said, come out. Like I said, we got some great student athletes. Our men's basketball team is still undefeated in the conference.
Congrats
Buzzer beater, Jalen Sims
just made. I saw that.
Jalen Sims just made Sports Center top 10 the other night.
I saw that.
Let me tell you something. Takeo Siddle is doing an amazing job with the program. Like I said, we hired him during the pandemic. Like you can imagine taking on this type of monster during a global pandemic. But we got some great coaches. We got some great staff. Like I tell anybody, if I had to go through COVID-19, hurricanes with anybody, these group of soldiers, let me tell you something. I'll put my team up to anybody.
That's what.
Anybody.
Tiffany Tucker.
That's me.
Owner Sports Illustrated.
Did you
just
make me an owner?
Top 100 women in sports, Sports Illustrated. Debbie, director, UNCW Athletics. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you.
B. Thank you so much for having
Big
me.
B. Shouts out to Rich North Digital.
Yeah,
They got a whole movie studio over here.
Everything over here. I'm coming back, B.
Juan, Rich, my nephew. We're gonna come back.
We coming back. I'm coming back. We
Okay,
gotta put in some work over here. It's nice.
I know.
It's nice.
He got about 1,000 employees. I had to walk in here. They didn't know who I was, so. That's what
I mean, they checking security at the door. They pat me down.
It's in the booth with Big B.